Now, before I start this, I normally don't do this stuff, but I need to throw in a trigger warning. I normally don't like trigger warnings, but this makes sense. There is a small amount, and I say a small amount, of child abuse in this story. Of course, it's fake, but there's your warning, right? So, enjoy. I was 27 when I met the love of my life, and 30 when I married him. It was a beautiful ceremony. Everybody said so. A match made in heaven, they called us. Then Catherine was born, 3 years later, and everybody said she was the prettiest little girl they'd ever seen. She was too. She had wispy, light brown hair and big, bright blue eyes. We got quite a few offers from people who wanted her to do modeling work, and, of course, we accepted. What parents don't want people to admire their darling child? If you stop at Marks and Spencer's, you might have seen her photo in the kids' clothes aisle at Christmas. She's the girl in the large, furry blue coat. It matches her eyes, making a snowman. That blue coat. It was very nice. They let her keep it after the shoot, and it lasted her 3 years. She loved it so much we had trouble getting it off her in the summer, and I remember worrying about what would happen when she grew out of it. Of course, in the end, that wasn't a problem. Her room was lovely, with pink, flowery wallpaper and a rose-patterned bedspread. The curtains were rose-patterned as well, and behind the huge glass windows, there was a little balcony. One day, a few months after her 8th birthday, we were preparing for a gymnastics contest. She did gymnastics once a week and ballet twice. Her agent recommended it, and she was so excited. She kept hopping and skipping around, shouting, "Watch me, Mum, watch me!" And I just nodded or said, "That's great, sweetie," occasionally. I was more concerned with her gymnastics uniform. She'd got a big mud stain on it. The teacher said she'd slipped on the way home because she was playing with another girl. I'd watched it 3 times already, but I swear I could still see the stain. I was squinting at it, and behind me I could hear, "Mom, look at me! Mom, look at me! You're not watching!" She was still wearing the blue coat. There was a mirror right in front of me, a big antique one that we got her when she started her modeling career. It was right opposite the balcony, and when I looked up at it, I could clearly see her standing on the balcony rail, balancing on one foot. I had just enough time to recognize the stance of an arabesque before she wobbled and fell. We grieved for a while, and, eventually, got over her death. It was my idea to adopt. I missed the sound of her laughter in the house, and John was quick to agree. We called our new daughter Macy, and tried to be good parents to her, but she was no Catherine. She was a loud baby, for one. Catherine had always been fairly quiet, but Macy seemed to have constant bouts of colic. She was ugly, too. Her nose was snub enough that it was almost a snout, and her teeth stuck out. Her ballet and gymnastics teachers reported that she had no sense of balance, and her modeling career was out of the question. Not least because she always blinked whenever she had her photo taken. At the school, they said she was very bright. It's true she always had her nose in a book, but said she didn't socialize much. Catherine had always been very popular. She was naughty as well. I remember when she was 5 and we tried to get her to wear the blue coat. True, a bit of blood had gotten on it when Catherine fell, but I'd washed most of it out. There was really no need for her to whine about it so much. We ended up having to hold her down to get it on her. We told the teachers she got the bruises from falling down the stairs. When we asked her what she wanted for her 8th birthday, she told us she wanted to change the wallpaper in her room. We said no, of course, and sent her to her room. When I went in to check on her, she'd scribbled all over the fairies in marker pen. I don't know what happened next, but all of a sudden Macy was cowering in the corner, clutching her eye. We had to keep her off school for a while until the bruise healed. The next day, I bought some more of that flower fairy wallpaper, and John papered over the bits that Macy had ruined. It was a little while after that the phobia of mirrors started. She came downstairs one morning and said there was a girl in the mirror. "Yes, that's you," I said. "No, it isn't," she said, looking really scared. "It's not me. She keeps saying horrid things to me. She says I'm nasty and worthless and nobody likes me and that soon she's going to take me." Who'd have thought that 2 girls the same age could be so different? One was so fearless that she ended up dying while playing. The other so cowardly that she was scared of her own reflection. After that, Macy's behavior became intolerable. She refused to go near anything reflective, which meant no metal cutlery or licking in shop windows, and every morning, We went to her room to find out that she'd covered Catherine's mirror with her bedsheets. "It's scary," she said. "I can't sleep." She started wetting the bed every night and just cried when we shouted at her. We were good parents. We sent her to a therapist. He diagnosed her with low self-esteem and an overactive imagination and suggested we play with her more. The problem was, she didn't want to play. She just wanted to read. It was John's idea to lock her in her room with the mirror. If she sees that there's nothing to be scared of, he said, she won't be scared. So he locked her in, taking the precaution of removing her bedsheets first. For the first hour she cried and screamed and banged on the door, but after a while she went quiet. We opened the door and found her sitting in front of the mirror, or at least we thought it was her. It was only when she ran towards me and hugged me that I realized it was Catherine, dear sweet Catherine, back from the dead. As I hugged her tight, I looked over her head to the mirror and thought I saw something move. Catherine looked up and gave me one of her adorable smiles as I realized that it was Macy in the mirror. She was standing behind the glass, banging on it with her fat fists, tears streaming down her cheeks, and her breath fogging up the glass as she silently screamed. The bedsheets were just outside the door. Together, me and Catherine covered the mirror. "We're moving tomorrow. John's got it all figured out. We'll stay in hotels until we can sell the house, and then we'll move to somewhere where nobody knows us. I promised Catherine a whole new room, and I guess we'll need to get her a new mirror as well, now that we've smashed the old one." Jesus fuck. Happy Halloween.